Got them in the cooler, waiting for you.
Jaguars fans, the 2024 NFL season is just around the corner, and we can't wait for you to be back at the bank. Your Jacksonville Jaguars are starting off the preseason going head-to-head with the Kansas City Chiefs Saturday, August 10th. Be at the bank as the Jags take the field.
The Jaguars have won it!
You won't want to miss a second of the action. Grab your tickets for the 7 p.m. kick by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We'll see you there.
I'm RJ Saunders with your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. For 1010XL, Florida men's basketball will compete in the Holiday Hoops Giving event against Arizona State in Atlanta on Saturday, December the 14th. The matchup will take place at State Farm Arena as part of the triple header that also features Auburn versus Ohio State and Georgia versus the Grand Canyon. Time, TV, and ticket information to be announced at a later date. College Football Network has selected 8 Florida Gators to the publication's All-SEC teams. Names included Eugene Wilson III, who was named to their All-SEC third team. Montrell Johnson Jr. would earn the second team All-Honors, and Jake Slaughter, who received an honorable mention to the All-American team. Currently 81 degrees at 2:01. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Attention.
They are not ready for prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time.
Prime time. That's the name.
Prime time.
Prime time. What time is it? Showtime. Prime time.
It's XL Prime Time. Featuring Joe C.
I reduced my toilet paper down to 3 squares.
Matt Hayes.
Big asses and big thighs, yeah.
And Leon Searcy.
Bringing you love, peace, and soul.
How you like me now? How you like me now?
Monday, always tough. But then when you got a little rain, I don't even know what, it is Hurricane Debbie, right? It's officially.
That's a tropical storm now.
It's okay, but it was, right?
It was.
When it came on. To land, I think 80 miles an hour, something like that. I did see one weather guy this morning, and he was in, you know how Urban Miller, as he's often referred to on Jaguars Today, had that stance on the sidelines,
right.
Where he just kind of, that's how the guy was bracing himself to keep the wind from knocking him over. So he was ready to battle the storm, but hopefully everybody here on the First Coast, you are all good to go. Welcome in a Mokama Beer Company Monday. We were minus Big Sirs. He's got the week off now. He took off on a big bird to the U.S. Virgin Islands. Right. And so he is on the other side, and I would think seemingly safe. So he is good to go. So we definitely wanted to talk some football with you guys. You got the training camp practice earlier today where there was a little dust up between the offense and the defense. Of course, it has been covered, but we will continue to cover it with some more camp observations that we will do as we go along this afternoon. Now, we got plenty to get into in the college football world as well. Matty, we have got some ball coming up, and we've got practices in a lot of different places. Coaches poll is out, so we'll get into all that as we get going today.
A lot going on. There's multiple news stories coming out in college football right now. Montrell Johnson, Florida running back, had kind of minor surgery. Expected to be ready for the season opener. There's Sharon Moore, the Michigan coach, has been identified in the original findings from the NCAA investigation of Michigan last year, including deleting text messages, refusing to allow the NCAA to review phone records, and removing hard drives from the football offices.
Oh, I'm telling you what. Well, this guy is going to be.
By the way, he was suspended for 1 game last year for his part in this whole thing.
Okay, now was that part? That was along with Jimmy Harbaugh in the self-imposed in the beginning, correct?
That's correct. Yes.
So it was a total of 6 games for Harbaugh.
1 for Sharon Moore.
Yeah, and then he was the guy that everyone looked at and said, "Look how great he was in Harbaugh's absence," and all this kind of stuff that took place. But it's still a lot about something that is, in my mind, further and further in the rearview mirror. And NCAA, just get over it already. I think this is still a bad thing, but how many people can you penalize for the same thing?
Yeah, they're holding on to it like grim death.
They are.
It's power. Because it's power. Yeah, it's the last bit of power that they have.
Yeah.
They're going to do everything they can Look, and Michigan is going to back Sherrone Moore, just like they backed Jim Harbaugh to the end, to the absolute bitter end. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, it just trips me out. That's for sure. All right, so if we will get into all that, at least the details as far as what's coming out with Michigan, NCAA, all the stuff that came out with the text messages that were erased and everything like that. We'll get into a little fall football practice with FSU, with Florida, Miami, Georgia, all of them that are going on right now because it is officially on. This is a weekend that you're going to see some college football. You're going to see some National Football League preseason action. You have the Hall of Fame induction ceremony over the weekend on Saturday. So there's so much to get into. But we got to start off with the offense and the defense and a little dust up inside the indoor practice facility at the Mecca. And I tweeted out, I didn't think you could have dust ups indoors. Because the air conditioning's on, no one's really sweating it out. There's not that sun that's beating down on you outside. This is inside.
Yeah, these same guys been banging on each other for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Dust ups happen, baby.
Yeah, they're tired of it. And this was, I would consider this a shot from the defense, especially from a guy that may be battling to make sure he wins a spot on this team. And then another guy who just barely got cleared to enjoy some contact in Gabe Davis. And I think that's the essence of what happened. So if you're just tuning in, you're an XL Primetime fan, you're like, wait a minute, Joe C., what's going on? Well, it's just a little bit of a drag route, just a crossing route. Gabe Davis hauls in the pass, and as soon as he takes one step towards the defender.
Depleted.
Yeah, he basically, Buster Brown just unloads on him and knocks him straight to the ground. Well, this is about 5 yards from the out of bounds, and Christian Kirk comes running off the out of bounds, takes that 5-yard run, and levels Buster Brown from behind. And so you could, anyway, it was on at that point. And you're like, I don't mind this. I don't mind the feistiness. But, Matt, the other part of it is that this goes back to what you were talking about last week with the Murtaugh injury.
Yeah.
That you don't be taking people to the ground. Well, this one was, he tried to knock him out, basically.
Yeah.
Decleated him, like you just said. And so Gabe Davis is just now getting back to where he is being cleared for a lot of activity, okay? Coming off the PCL, they really were slow with him during the offseason. No reason to push him for any reason at all. You don't need to be hitting that cat. No, sir.
So I'm torn right now because I do not like skill guys going to the ground. That's number one.
Mm-hmm.
Should be the number one rule in all camp. But number two, I like the feistiness.
Mm-hmm.
I like them getting pissed off. I like it. I like it because this team didn't have that kind of fire last year. And I think it needs a little fire. I think it needs a little giddy up. You know?
Right.
I think it needs more than just, oh, we'll be all right. Mm-hmm. No, you won't be all right. Mm-hmm. And that's how you lose 5 or 6. So I think if you got a little attitude to you, if you got a little heft in your shorts and you got some physicality to you,
right? There's
nothing wrong with that. And again, part of it, probably a majority of it, is they've been banging on each other for 3 weeks now, and it's you'll finally get to hit someone else with the Chiefs game this week. Which, oh, by the way, it's game week, everyone. Yeah, it is game week. So I mean that's going to help them when they finally get to hit the Chiefs. But yeah, I mean think about it. It's been 3 weeks straight of. You know them, they know you. Yeah. You pretty much know what they got. They pretty much know what you got, and you're killing each other.
And by the way, today, the defense, and you guys can hit the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010, or you can jump in the YouTube chat and let us know what you're thinking. But I'm talking to some diehard Duval fans earlier today after practice went final, and the defense ruled the day. Andre Sisco picked off all 3 quarterbacks, all 3 of them. And he, along with the rest of the defense, they were chatty. They were definitely celebrating big plays. There was a lot of action, and this was not necessarily every single play was take a guy to the ground, but definitely a lot of activity. And so defense won the day. The offense still made some plays, no question about it, but Doug Peterson, the head coach, had to call him in at the end and say, hey, okay, I like what you're saying, Matt. I like all this. I like the matching up of defense and offense. Like we're the best on this turf right now, but let's also be careful. Let's also make sure we remain a team and take care of business and don't get guys hurt.
Yeah, it's that. It's also, the reality of any kind of camp is the offense, whether defense wants to admit it or not, and I'm sure Tom McManus would probably take a swing at me for this, but the offense works harder, especially the skill guys.
Yeah.
Those receivers are running, whereas the DBs can at times when they're playing man, they're running too. They're mirroring him.
Right.
But when they're playing zone, it's much easier. There's not as much running and there's not as much, force.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's a lot of things. It's a lot of frustration out there because there are guys out there that want the ball that are not getting the ball.
Right.
There are guys out there that want to make plays and they don't have the opportunity to make plays, and they see their time slipping away and they see their roster spot maybe slipping away. A guy like Buster Brown.
Couldn't help but think that.
So
Immediately.
there are guys out. I mean, Elijah Cooks has been frustrated for much of camp because he feels like he's not getting the ball.
Yeah.
So there's that stuff mixes in with the same guy over and over and over, the same reps over and over and over, the same individual drills over and over and over. That stuff eventually leads to hot heads. There's no doubt about it.
I'll give you one, as you mentioned, Elijah Cooks. He runs a route, and he breaks free from a defender and turns around. He's running the deeper route. He turns around, the ball's already gone to the other side of the field. And he basically is like, what the?
Right.
Where's he throwing it?
He's been that way all camp. I mean, and you got to give him credit because he's open.
Yeah, he wants that play.
There was a practice a couple days ago. I was watching him, and he's open, and he's not getting the ball.
Yeah, he knows. And by the way, we're going to just at least dip our toe in the roster cuts. And we'll do it once a week as we get closer to the 53. But as we said, it's game week. You're going to see the Kansas City Chiefs come into Duval. It's not going to be their best version. You're going to see a lot of backups. But we will see, I'm thinking, a little bit of the starters. So we'll get into that and kind of take a look at – because I just started to count it up today, Matt. And I'll just run through the numbers that I have, and you guys can jump in and let us know just as far as how you're constructing the roster. How many offensive linemen? How many defensive linemen? How many linebackers? Your total secondary. Just start thinking about all that. The receiver room. Is it 6? Is it 7? Running backs. 3, 4. Who you got? So start thinking about that a little bit as we go along today. Mocama Beer Company, they help bring you today's show, and they are right up there in beautiful Fernandina Beach, South 8th Street, and they brew it all, and they do coffee every single day and craft Tuesday through Sunday. So make sure you check them out, mocama.com. You can find them on the shelves at ABC or Total Wine, and then, of course, right there on South 8th, and then their Wildlight location as well up in beautiful Nassau County. It's XL Primetime. I'm going to say hello to Charles Davis, who was in Duval on Friday. We missed him then, but we're going to dial up his phone coming up here in just a sec.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. Now, a 1010XL Summer Olympic Update brought to you by USAPark.net Airport Parking.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games. Simone Biles becomes the first U.S. gymnast with 6 gold medals. She wins the individual all-around for the second time after pulling out of the final in Tokyo.
3 years ago, I never thought I'd step foot on a gymnastics floor again just because of everything that had happened. But at the end of the day, it is crazy that I am in the conversation of greatest of all athletes because I just still think I'm Simone Biles from Spring, Texas that loves to flip.
At 27, Biles is the oldest woman to win the all-around since 1952. Suni Lee takes the bronze. In the pool, Katie Ledecky gets the silver as part of the 200-meter freestyle relay, her 13th Olympic medal, a record for American women. And 57 straight Olympic wins for the U.S. women's basketball team to lock up a spot in the quarterfinals. With this Summer Games update, I'm Brad Heller, Westwood One Sports.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk.
Life hack.
Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher-end auto-pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not a rate based on Terry who keeps and makes the car behind them. Oh no, they're about to. Save with DriveWise and the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you. Not available.
available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Attention men and women. If you would like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Mike from Bay Meadows.
I finally found the most experienced company who could restore my hair. Now I have hair where I had none before.
Results guaranteed. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Find out why you're losing your hair and how to grow your hair back. Call 904-777-IHRS for a limited time free hair and scalp examination.
Now my hair will grow for the rest of my life. Thanks, IHRS.
Thank you, IHRS.
Thanks, IHRS, for giving me my hair back.
Hurry, this free examination, normally $199, is yours for free and good only through Sunday. For your free examination, call IHRS at 904-777-IHRS. That's 904-777-4477. Call now.
15,000 workers. I'm Brian Rose from Remedy Staffing. We survey 15,000 blue-collar workers each year to better understand what drives quality and dependability in our workforce. The survey shows when looking for a new job, the initial pay rate, job security, and safety while working are the most important factors for hourly workers. If you're an employer and would like to learn more about the voice of the blue-collar worker, please call us at 904-528-1933.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
Joe C. for Hard Rock Bet. It's Florida's only legal sportsbook. Hard Rock Bet is the way to go. Easy sign up, fast deposits and withdrawals, PayPal, Venmo, cards, and more. They take them all. And we're talking hundreds of props, parlays, live play-by-play betting across every sport. And you can bet from anywhere in the state of Florida. If your first bet doesn't win, you get up to $100 back for another shot. Download Hard Rock Bet now or go online at hardrock.bet.
Go inside your home team's locker room with Jags beat reporter Hayes Carline.
Check out my blog at 1010XL.com
so you can catch all the news and nuggets you need to know.
My blog is brought to you by Roland Reese Plumbing,
where quality and experience count.
Daytona always brings the drama.
Everything's on the line. The risk will be higher.
3 wide.
Look how insane this is.
Gunning to keep playoff hopes alive. It's now or never.
It's the most stressful night of racing that you'll ever go through.
For an unforgettable weekend of family fun, high wattage star power, and a front row seat full of fireworks. NASCAR weekend at Daytona International Speedway, August 23rd and 24th. Get your tickets now at DaytonaInternationalSpeedway.com.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, when a customer goes to buy a diamond, how do they know what they are getting?
Frank, that's a good question because what they know comes from the assurances given by the seller, and they can only judge based on the knowledge and reputation of the selling store. Now, over the last 25 years, I've seen some customers misled, and unfortunately, Underwoods was the bearer of bad news too many times. In the 1980s, we saw diamonds brought in with exaggerated grades and no laboratory grading reports. Then in the 90s, we saw some of the poorest cut diamonds ever, even though they had laboratory reports on weight, color, and clarity. Then the American Gem Society opened a laboratory and started grading diamonds for cut, and poorly cut diamonds got priced for what they were. Now we see diamonds from the internet and other places where diamonds are bought sight unseen with a lab report and a bogus appraisal. Unfortunately, not all those diamonds match the reports they're sold with, but how would a customer know? Probably today more than ever, the truest statement is, if you don't know diamonds, you better know a jeweler you can trust.
Hey, it's Joe C. My friends at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living can elevate your grilling experience with a durable, high-end grill from great brands like Coyote, DCS, Alfresco, and American Made, and make an outdoor kitchen custom-built to your taste and lifestyle. Visit their local showroom and see all the new displays at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living.
You dream it. CSS.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
I've known Glenn Coleman for a long time as a friend and a lawyer. Persistent and fair, Glenn and his firm have represented clients from North Florida and South Georgia for over 40 years in all kinds of personal injury cases. If I had such a case, call Glenn at Barnes, Cohen, and Sullivan.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
You will hear and see Charles Davis on many NFL broadcasts throughout the course of the National Football League season, but he was part of Duval's practice on Friday, so let's say hello to him now. Even though he had the luxury of coming and seeing Trevor and company, he had the laborious task of hanging out with Pete Prisco as he joins us now. CD, how are you?
I'm doing great, guys. How are you today?
Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good. We wanted to catch up with you on Friday. Unfortunately, we weren't able to do it, but happy that we can get you now for a few minutes to get some of your thoughts on what this team looked like to you, and then obviously we'll hit a few of the others that you've seen in the National Football League. But what was your take on Friday?
It's very similar almost anywhere you go. You can go to a place that the roster isn't that great, and you spend 15, 30 minutes there, and you can walk out and go, I think that team's got something. It's really easy to do this time of year. Hope, right?
Yeah.
People are at their best at this point because unless you've had a catastrophic injury, the non-contact, the knee goes, that sort of a thing. Unfortunately, we saw some of that, although it was full contact when I was there in Jacksonville. I hope that young man's okay, the tight end on your international program. Yeah. But overall, you can talk yourself into anything because this time of year everybody's feeling great. But if you've been around a little bit, as the three of us have, sometimes, you can't get fooled by certain things you're watching. The roster, the people, who's running it, all those things. I feel like what happened at the end of last year, anomaly is too easy a word to throw around, but I don't think that's the norm with a Doug Peterson team, with a team of this talent, things of that nature. Everything just kind of conspired and went, and I almost call it AFC South disease because the year before it was Tennessee.
Yeah.
It's locked up. It's done. You remember when Tennessee was so far ahead that Indianapolis waved the right flag and got Matt Ryan off the field because they didn't want to pay him any more money?
Yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the end of the year, they went through the coaching change. They went through, all of that. Matt came back and finished, blah, blah, blah. But they were like, we're done here. Little did anyone know that everyone was still in it, and Jacksonville became the team that reeled them in. Then last year, Jacksonville 8-3 going into it was a Monday nighter, I believe, right, with Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Number one seed in the offing, actually right there for them to grab. And by the end of that evening, Trevor Lawrence had gotten hurt again. They had gotten beat inexplicably in a way. A backup quarterback had come in and done the deed on a game that press uniforms, national TV, everything going on. Whoosh. And guess what? They're in play. And by the end of the year, what? What just happened? Houston? Did you say Houston?
Yeah.
And whammo. So to me, it's almost an AFC South disease, and it's a weird thing. I don't expect it to hit again. In fact, it can't hit again. Otherwise, things change. There's no, it's just the way the NFL works. I think it's a good roster. I think it's a good place. I'm a huge Doug Peterson fan. He made some tough decisions at the end of last year. So if anybody thinks Doug's just a nice guy and not interested in making sure his program runs the way he wants, guess what, folks? He'll make those changes. He can do it. And he did, and I like the people that they brought in. It's a good team, and they have a cautionary tale just staring them dead in the face. And now, unfortunately, this is a wide-open division. Yes, I know everybody's got Houston number one, and rightly so. I get it. But if you're going to sit here and tell me that Jacksonville and Indianapolis are not contenders, I think you're way off. And I think that Tennessee is better than what people think.
Yeah, I agree, Charles. I think all four of them it's going to be a dogfight, that division. Let me go real quick to obviously the most important part of the team, the most important position on the field. We always talk about it, so why not? Let's start. Look, Trevor Lawrence is their quarterback. $275 million says he is. He is their quarterback, period, for the foreseeable future. Now, that said, okay, he almost has to have a big season this season, does he not? Because he's kind of like teetering right now, isn't he?
Agreed. I mean, look, last year was supposed to be the year, and we saw it happening in front of us. Then the knee injury happened, but boy, did he play through that one. Because remember, it was a short week. New Orleans, it went right down to the wire whether he could play. And not only did he play that night in New Orleans, he played well and even ran the ball well. So sometimes you end up with a false sense of security with that. And I don't mean Trevor. I mean maybe us as observers. Oh, so he doesn't need to practice as much. His kid is getting it and all that. I think it all started to add up. He couldn't get the same reps in. He couldn't do that. Then the ankle injury happens, and again he shows his toughness, plays the very next week. Our crew had the game in Cleveland. I watched him warm up, and I was still like, wow, he's going to do this? And he did, but he wasn't the same kid. You know, that's going to happen to you. He's got to play through all that. He's got to play to where the level of where his contract is and his draft status in a division where he's the dean of quarterbacks. It's a weird division, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anthony Richardson's going into his second year, and what did he play, 4 games last year?
Yeah.
Before he was out and done for the year. C.J. Stroud is the hot ticket, played 1 year in the league. And then you go over to Tennessee, and it's Will Levis, who's in his second year and partial starter his first year. The dean of it all, the guy with the most experience, the guy who's been the deepest in the playoffs is Trevor Lawrence. Yet right now he's chasing C.J. Stroud. He has to play that C.J. Stroud level that we saw last year for Jacksonville to go to the heights we think they can go.
So let's combo the pressure, because I feel there's a little bit of pressure for Doug Peterson as well. We're talking with Charles Davis. You certainly will see him throughout the NFL Network in the season and, of course, on CBS. But pair up the pressure, because I do think Doug, like you said, he made those tough decisions, and I think he's got that inner push to make sure he gets the job done here. He said it before the season started last year, CD. Making it to the postseason 1 year is not good enough. So he feels it, and then Trevor feels it. How do you think they combo up to make sure that they make more plays and less mistakes?
Well, I think that they paired with Trent Baalke, the GM. Draft, obviously, we know what happened in the draft. Brian Thomas at the top of it, okay? But you also went in the offseason and free agency and went and got, Mitch Morse to play center for you, trying to shore up the middle of the offensive line. Eric Armstead, hopefully he can get healthy real soon because he is a force inside and he can flat out play. I think underrated, they didn't get him this year, but Roy Robertson Harris, I don't think it's the credit he deserves that he's come over for them in free agency. In the past. I just like the moves that they've made. What'll be interesting to me to watch is how Ryan Nielsen runs his defense, because there's talent there like crazy. What's it going to look like, and how will he unleash? And these are two players that I'm crazy about. Antonio Johnson, now be a full-time starter, and Andre Sisco. I think those safeties have a chance to have a real effect on games. And as we've watched across the league, I'm old enough to remember when safeties were mountain-sized people.
Mm-hmm.
The David Fulchers, the Ronnie Lotts, the Tim McDonalds. They were huge, ginormous men. I mean, 240-something pound safeties, right? These guys aren't that way now, but the way we're deploying the safeties, we're deploying them to have an effect on the game again. All right, they're not just back there as the last line of defense. It's not one box safety, one safety deep. It's two safeties doing a lot of things on a lot of plays. And by the way, how often are we playing 3 safeties on the field now anyway?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That's how the game has changed. And I think they've got 2 really good players who can be impact guys for them. I can't wait to see how they deploy them and watch them go, because think of the teams that you're watching go deep into the playoffs and just think to yourself, how good is their safety play? And the answer is usually pretty darn good.
That's from the old 6'4" safety, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's still in great shape and probably could still
believe
bring
me.
it. Yeah.
Believe me, I may be tall, but my play did not equal Fulcher, McDonald. I could go on right down the line.
Hey.
Lewis Oliver.
Hey, before we let you go, do they have? Because we can talk all we want about Ryan Nielsen and the scheme and all that. Do they have enough dudes on that defense, you think, to change what happened from the last month and a half of the season last year?
I think they do, and Trayvon Walker got the double-digit sacks last year, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
But we need to see double-digit sacks and a healthy fear of everybody. That's the next step for him, Because last year, double-digit sacks, well, Josh Hines-Allen was getting you almost 17.
Mm-hmm.
So you ought to be pretty good on the other side. I want to see him take the next step now and make them fear him as well. But it'd be interesting because both of them now are playing a little bit differently, right? They're not as much outside linebacker, stand-up edge as they are holding that edge as a defensive end.
Right.
It'll maybe be a little bit different for them. I think they're capable, but I want to see him go ahead and make that next step, which I think he's capable of doing. Athletically, we know he's gifted beyond gifted. But I think they got enough dudes that way. Depth, that might be questioned a little bit just by how it goes, but that's anywhere now because of a salary cap. And Darnell Savage is a great wild card, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Really athletically gifted, man. Probably play your nickel for you. Let's see. I know people have question marks about it. But I've also seen him play at a really high level in Green Bay at different times. So, yeah, I think they got a few dudes that way. But I want to see how they do that. And the offense, if Morris holds down the center spot and Cleveland and Sheriff are right there shoulder to shoulder next to them so that people don't grab Trevor as the ball is snapped, that'll go a long way towards getting Etienne unleashed, finding Ingram a little bit more, right? And then being able to make some plays downfield with Gabe Davis, Brian Thomas, et cetera, and, of course, Christian Kirk.
Yeah, it is the truth, man. It is the truth. Well, listen, thanks for your time, and hopefully we'll catch up as the season unfolds. And like you said, AFC South is completely a great storyline and up for grabs, and we'll see what they can do. CD, thanks, buddy.
Thanks for having me. I'll leave you with this. At one point this offseason, a couple of guys on my crew said, you never know where you're going to go each year when they start assigning. But if we got embedded in the AFC South, we take it.
Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate you guys.
Good seeing you, Charles.
And check out Charles' Sports Stars of Tomorrow, too, because he does a great job with that. You can catch that. I'm trying to think of what channel it's on. Anyway, you catch it every weekend, and they show a bunch of future recruits and so on. So he definitely does a killer job there. All right, now we're going to keep it going in the NFL, and then we will work in the coaches poll, which is definitely worth going over as far as what some of the teams are that you follow, how many ranked teams they will be playing. So we will do that coming up on XL Primetime on Mokama Beer Company Monday.
Buckle up. You're in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios with XL Primetime on 1010XL. Find your new Honda at your 8 local Honda dealers.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and summer's in full swing, and air conditioners are fully stressed. But do what I did and call the good folks at Fenwick Home Services to stay cool and comfortable all season long. Need a new AC? Fenwick has same-day estimates and next-day installations on energy-efficient systems. And your new system is backed by a warranty of up to 12 years. That's right, 12 years. Fenwick also offers same-day 24/7 service day or night, and their expert technicians will get the job done and get it done right the first time. Book online now at FenwickHomeservices.com.
Jenkins Genesis of Northeast Florida is coming soon and now hiring for technicians, sales, and all positions. If you or someone you know are looking for a new opportunity, apply online at GenesisNortheastJacksonville.com. Equal Opportunity Employer.
The saying goes, the grass is greener on the other side. Well, that is actually true if your neighbor installed artificial turf. Lauren Brooks here from my friends at Sunshine Turf, a family-owned local company that will take your backyard dreams and turn them into a reality. Caleb can design anything from putting greens to pet runs, and if you have a pool, you'll definitely love maintenance-free turf around it. Visit sunshineturf.info to get a free quote today from Sunshine Turf. That's sunshineturf.info.
Hey, Russell Wilson here, and I know how important exercise is.
It's essential. It's essential.
With Play 60, United Way and the NFL are helping kids stay active and play at least 60 minutes a day.
Healthy kids. Healthy kids.
But what this place needs is you. To donate or volunteer, go to unitedway.org/play60 because great things happen when we live united.
Donate.
Are you guys going to do that every time?
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window
World, simply the best for less.
And thank you for your business.
Join the fun with XL Primetime, Friday at Firehouse Subs in San Marco. Get pictures and autographs from Jags players, cheerleaders, and Jackson DeVille. 2 to 4 Friday at Firehouse Subs in San Marco.
This date in sports history is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 5th, 1986, Giants left-handed pitcher Steve Carlton becomes the second pitcher to reach 4,000 strikeout milestone, striking out Eric Davis.
Hey guys, this is David Garrard, and I want to tell you about Clearwater Irrigation. They put my new sprinkler system in at my new home at Jack's Beach, and I couldn't be happier. Oh, hey, John.
What's up, Dave? You know what this means. You're going to have to sing.
Man, I can't sing.
Then you'll fit right in, buddy. Clearwater Irrigation. We can't sing a lick, but we sure are good at sprinklers. Hit it, Dave.
And drainage, too.
ClearwaterJacks.com.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality product and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you be active, reach weight loss goals, and find your inner strength while you connect with your community. Family memberships at the Y include unlimited group exercise classes, childcare while you work out, and youth sports participation. It's easy to join the Y and affordable for all. Plus, the Y is a great place to meet a new circle of friends. Visit the Y near you or online at fcymca.org.
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
It's officially preseason week 1 in Duval. Coach Peterson hit the podium this morning to give an update to some of the injuries on the O-line.
We're still in a good spot with the 5. Hopefully with Anton, hopefully we get him back out on the field on Wednesday, and Cam has been working, some individual walkthroughs, get him going again, coming up. Ezra, we'll just have to see, with him. I don't want to push him. I think it's his left heel. Just want to make sure that he's 100%. But
Anton Harrison, Cam Robinson, and Ezra Cleveland will all be day-to-day leading up to Saturday's game against the Chiefs, but expect to see healthy Jag starters get some snaps in the game. Catch the action here on 1010XL with coverage starting at 2 and kickoff at 7. I'm Max Fink with your Jaguars Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, another great guest on the Garber Auto Mall phone line.
Hello.
We can wiggle it.
Before we get to our dude Eric Edholm of NFL Media on a Mokama Beer Company Monday, is Max allowed to wear an Eagles hat into a 1010XL studio with all of Duval listening? Is he allowed to wear an Eagles hat? I don't know.
What, are you gonna start policing him now?
I might sanction that.
Nothing
young
wrong with
man.
that. It's the NFL.
Listen, I got fans from Philly, and they can be obnoxious at times. I love them, but my man Fife and all those guys out there. But I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna allow that. All right, let's ask Eric Edholm. He doesn't necessarily have to chime in on that, but we can ask him about the rest of the National Football League, including your Jacksonville Jaguars. Welcome in. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Yeah, it's we're getting geared up for your first week of preseason, your first full week of preseason anyway. So, lots to talk about.
Yeah, it's going to be nuts on NFL Network, which you are part of NFL Media and NFL Network. And your thoughts so far on what you've kind of the quarterback chatter that's out there in the National Football League right now. Are we poised to have a great quarterback year in your mind?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, obviously, coming off a spring in which we had 6 first-round quarterbacks go. And right now, I think 3 have a decent shot at starting early in the season, if not week 1, right? I mean, that's going to be a big part of the quarterback play, I guess, about 10% of the league, right? So Caleb Williams locked in Chicago. Jaden Daniels locked in. Well, I shouldn't say locked in. Everything points to him being the starter, and I would say he might be your rookie, offensive rookie of the year favorite at this point. Bo Nix has made great progress in Denver. He could start. We're going to have to wait for guys like Drake May, it seems like, J.J. McCarthy and Michael Penix, obviously, given the situation there. So you're adding at least 3 rookies to the mix. You've got an uninspiring choice out in Las Vegas with Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell. Gino's been banged up in Seattle. We'll see there. So there's just some trapdoors there. There's some possibilities that we start out a little slowly, especially if guys like Caleb Williams don't, make an instant adjustment to the NFL. But, Herbert injured too. We'll see about his status. Sounds like he's, at this point ready for game 1, but we don't know. So, I'm always encouraged by the talent. But early in the year, we could see, some hiccups along the way.
So, I have been fascinated by Harbaugh since he got back to the league.
Sure.
You're talking about a dude that, I say this all the time, has won multiple NFL playoff games, and he's not just some coach. And then Herbert gets the plantar fasciitis problem, and that's something that can linger. So my question is, if that lingers and if that becomes a situation where they've got to play Easton Stick more than they want to, that could get ugly quickly with the Chargers, could it not?
Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't say Easton Stick was terrible. He started 4 games, played, half another one or whatever it was, and only threw 1 interception. That was a pick 6. But the bigger problems were the number of sacks he took. It was around 3 per game, and also the fumbles. He put 5 balls on the ground. They had lost 4 of them. So the ball security is still an issue for him. It's the guy who was successful in college, 5 years ago now, but has really had to sit and wait. Previous coaching staff forced to turn to him last year. We don't know what Harbaugh thinks of him, and we don't know what the new staff thinks of him. But you could see the signs of what they were trying to build this offseason, signing multiple tight ends, adding offensive linemen when it looked like that might be a team strength anyway. Bringing those Ravens running backs in, J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards. Certainly there's a ground and pound element to every Harbaugh offense we've ever seen, I think, going back to University of San Diego. Yeah. So, even when he had Andrew Luck, he used 12 and 13 personnel and did a lot of big, heavy sets up front. So I don't think that part of it's any different. They're still going to lean on the ground game. Stick is a good athlete too, but clearly, in a season when they lost, obviously in addition to the long-term deal they gave him last year, but, you have all the receivers they move on from, Mike Williams and Keenan Allen and those guys, younger guys in at that position. I think the run game is going to be even more important, but even with those elements, they were counting on Justin Herbert having a big year. And if this is one of those things that lingers, look, we saw what Joe Burrow was like early in the year after missing all of camp. And he knew the offense already. I mean, he'd already been steeped in that offense for years. And this is a new system for Herbert. So, yeah, all of a sudden the bad luck Chargers are dealing with it again early this year.
Yeah, new system, new demands, because that's a totally different type of personality for the head coach, too, as well. We're talking with Eric Edholm, NFL Network. You can check him out at Eric_Edholm on X. So the first team this team will see is Miami. Just throw a thought in on all that cash that's being handed out down there, 2 wide receivers, now the quarterback. Your thoughts on the Fins?
Yeah, obviously, 2 teams that were kind of in our spotlight this offseason with the Jags and Dolphins, given the quarterback situations. Both guys get paid, both at different stages of their careers, I would argue, even though the age isn't much different. But still, I mean, it was fascinating to see how both teams kind of handled those things. And, I think both will not end up regretting their decisions. But with Miami, I mean, there's still, even after Tua finished 17, 18 games, if you count the playoff game, first time he's done that in his career, there's always that worry in the back of your mind. I mean, I know Trevor got hurt last year, but this is a guy who had been extremely durable, whereas Tua, though, didn't have that same kind of durability up till last season. So, I would think there's a little bit more concern on Miami's half, and obviously, as you said, investing so heavily in some of their top few guys, you do worry about the depth on their roster. And what did we see? I mean, a slew of injuries last year on defense. It was like 1.5 starters per week would go down by injury, and it just absolutely gutted this team. My question is, do they have the kind of depth to withstand a rash of injuries on either side of the ball? Starting lineup-wise, they look pretty good, even with some losses, even with Christian Wilkins gone and some of those pass rushers. But yeah, I mean, for a few years now, that roster has felt very top-heavy, and the second layer makes you sweat a little bit when you start thinking about them being promoted to the starting lineup.
All right, now you love a little college ball. I'm sure you're fired up for that Florida-Miami game week 1. I think it's almost kind of similar with the Jags and the Dolphins in week 1. Now, obviously, it's a 17-game season. It's a long season in the NFL. But you're talking about, like you just said, 2 teams that invested heavily in the offseason at the most important position on the field.
Yep.
And a Jags team that, quite frankly, the first 4 games are brutal. I mean, that first game is big for them, is it not?
I think so, absolutely, right? I mean, not a long trip, but staying in state, another team that, boy, at the beginning of last year looked so good. People were talking about, is this one of the greatest offenses we've ever seen? Jacksonville starts out 8-3, collapses down the stretch. Both teams played their best football at stages earlier in the season, didn't last throughout the course of the season. And they were both kind of 2 darling teams, if you will, right? Everyone was oohing and eyeing over Mike McDaniel's system and his personality. And, it's such a vast departure from the Bill Belichick's and the old school coaches of the world. And, I think a lot of people felt, about the Jaguars like they do now about the Texans, right? They were the team on the rise. And, even with a above 500 record, I think there's a lot of doubt for both these teams in terms of, okay, they're good, but how good are they? How seriously should we take both of these teams? And I probably like the Jaguars' chances this year a little more than other people. I'm not quite buying into the Houston thing. Their schedule is tough too, but you're right. I mean, week 1 games, when they're not division games, sometimes you have to look for a reason to watch, or not, look for a reason, but to consider it an important game. But for this one, I think it's very important for both teams to feel like they, come out of it with a victory. So, yeah, I agree. This is a fun one, week 1.
All right, we'll turn you loose, but you had it on your timeline. I was thinking about it when I looked at what you had. The 100 meters, okay? It's got you can't tell me the torso is the first thing they're counting, okay? There's a head and a nose. Where are you at with that? It was great to see an American
One of the
win.
other runners, the guy who finished second, had the foot out in front too, right?
Yes, that's true. That's true.
It's like, look, I mean, you're talking to one of the slowest people like on the face of the earth right here. Okay, Matt knows. He and I worked together previously, so Matt had trouble hitting the slope or the fast pitch softball. From what I remember out the parking lot, I would have lost any race I took part in. So, we're on even footing there. But still, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but I guess I'm happy with the result.
Yeah, there you go. As long as America, USA has it.
All right, you got it right.
All right, Eric, thanks, man. We appreciate it. We'll catch up with you soon.
All right,
Thanks,
fellas.
E.
Enjoy the ball.
Yep, at Eric_Edholm. And you can find him, of course, at NFL.com. And all the stuff they got cooking there, that's for sure. Honestly, I'm thinking about that. And they said it is the torso. And I guess
Isn't it like NASCAR with like the first little piece of anything that gets across the line is the win?
I agree. And he did the frozen shot on his timeline, and the foot coming across brings up a whole nother piece of this argument. That's for sure. You can't help but at least consider that as well. Hit us 6-4.
But I guess you can't if you do the first piece of anatomy that goes across the line.
Yeah.
You could literally have the guy with the longest arms going to get it.
Yeah. Well, if like in stride is perfect. Like if you go to, was it Ledecky's 1,500 meter? Anyway, she had timed out her finish, touching the wall just barely better than the Australian, Titmus, which was right next to her. And I think that's who it was. I think that's the race I'm thinking about. But anyway, I do agree. But would you let a foot count before anything else?
No, I think torso is the right thing. I do.
Yeah, the torso, mate. All right, 641-1010. You guys let us know if you got a thought on that. You can jump in on it. Mocama Beer Company, you can enjoy them. Coffee every single day, craft Tuesday through Sunday. You will find them up in beautiful Fernandina and in Wildlight, so 2 Nassau locations, or on the shelves, mocama.com. Make sure you check them out. We head into the 3 o'clock hour with our quarterback whisperer on a Mocama Monday.
Cruising with XL Primetime in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL. We can't wait to get game day underway, so we get started 5 hours before kickoff.
I can't pass that up.
It's the Terminix Kickoff Show. Live from Tailgaters Parking. Brought to you by Gatorade and Clearwater Irrigation.
Thank you.
On 1010XL. Now you can watch 1010XL shows all day on X, Facebook, and YouTube. Brought to you by MyBookie. Experience Vegas from the comfort of your phone anytime, anywhere. Sign up today. Use promo code 1010XL.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes, and it's hot. So let's talk about something sizzling. Making a Bacon 180 with the Awaken 180. Imagine dropping pounds while still enjoying that crisp, savory goodness. Well, it's on the menu to Awaken 180, and one of the many reasons I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180 weight loss. I did it all while still enjoying so many of my favorite foods. The difference is my coach showed me how to enjoy those foods the right way. Chicken, steak, pork, lobster, they're all on the menu. Awaken 180 caters to any diet or taste profile. Vegetarian, vegan, omnivore, flexitarian. Yep, flexitarian. They're all covered. The bottom line, if you want to lose weight fast and safe and keep it off with lifetime coaching, then make your own Bacon 180 with Awaken 180. Do what I did, and Mike Dempsey and Hacker and more than 21,000 others. Online at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
It's the end of summer sale with Renewal by Andersen, energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Save $300 on every window and $825 on all patio doors. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. But restrictions apply, and this offer expires August 31st. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
When pests invade your space, you don't just need them out, you need them out fast. And you need to keep them out. At Terminix, we show up for you and eliminate pests quicker. Because we care about what matters most to you. When pests show up, so do we. Don't live with a pest problem. Terminix it. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule a free inspection online. That's TERMINIX.com. TERMINIX.com. Terminix it.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Gerard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
AC replacement? If your AC unit is ready to go kaput, then it's time to call Florida Home AC. With over $3,000 in tax credits waiting for you on select systems, take advantage of it. Call 777-4300. Get Florida Home AC to cool you off.
1010XL Weekly is out now. Mia here, and text the word weekly to subscribe to our new 1010XL newsletter and for a chance to win Jaguars and concert tickets. Get an inside look at local sports, trending players, station info, and chances to win prizes all year long.
We love talking sports on 1010XL, and I9 Sports loves giving kids the perfect way to grow up playing sports. Fall and winter registration is underway. Log on to i9sports.com and see all they've got to offer. Kids 3 and up. You can enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount. Year-round sports all across the First Coast. St. John's, Duval, and Clay. Sign up now for fall and winter. Great locations added like Fort Family Field, Westside Middle, and Duval Charter Bay Meadows. It's all online at i9sports.com.
Yo, this is Tony from Tony D's. Are you looking for a great slice of pizza? Well, we have about 12 varieties. Most places won't have slices of pizza after lunch. At Tony D's, you can get a slice all day. It's always fresh at Tony D's Pizza. Bay Meadows and 295.
Mia here, and we've all been there before. A weekend trip to the casino? Canceled because real life came calling. MyBookie's new and improved online casino is here to change the game. Dive into a truly realistic casino experience featuring the latest in slots, progressive jackpots, and live dealer action, all from the comfort of your own home. The live casino is so easy to use. Just go to MyBookie and click Live Casino at the top. You'll find live dealers ready to deal or spin just like you're at the casino. The MyBookie Casino provides a Las Vegas experience when the action's in the palm of your hands and you don't even need to wear pants. Start at MyBookie today with a generous sign-up bonus using promo code 1010XL. A revamped loyalty program ensures a host of exclusive VIP perks. Sign up and hit the casino with promo code 1010XL. The more you play, the more you win, only with MyBookie.
Need or want cash? Beach's Jewelry and Pawn has cash available. Ready to buy guitars, surfboards, jewelry, firearms, tools, and especially gold. They need it all, selling or pawning. Get cash on the spot at Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jacksonville Beach.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
This is Hayes Carline for SkyLife Elite. Are you tired of canceled flights, unruly passengers, and layovers? Call my friends at SkyLife Elite. Consider using private charter flights for your next adventure. Yes, you can afford it. Make your own schedule. Fly direct. Drive your car to Craig Airport and get directly on the plane. SkyLife Elite can make that happen. Call 490-9332. Go to flyskylife.com and find them on social media. Fly SkyLife Elite, North Florida's premier private air charter.
I'm RJ Saunders with your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. For 1010XL, Florida State guard Jameer Watkins, one of the nation's top players returning for the 2024-25 college basketball season, is going to participate in the 2024 Nike Basketball Academy. Watkins was an All-ACC honorable mention selection as a junior during the 23-24 season. He enters this season looking to build on a streak of 19 consecutive double-figure scoring games. Quarterback DJ Uyunglele was named to the Walter Camp Player of the Year watch list. DJ previously earned a spot on the Maxwell Award watch list. Florida State has won the Walter Camp Player of the Year twice previously, once by Jameis Winston in 2013 and another by Charlie Ward in 1993. 81 degrees at 2:58, time and temp, brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's Mo Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
Coffee every day, craft Tuesday through Sunday, and you can enjoy the pilsners, the stouts, the fruited, the sours, the IPAs. You can go on and on and on. Pilsners and plenty more. Make sure you check it out up there in beautiful Fernandina Beach and Wildlight. We're going to say hello to our quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson, in just a few. But first, let's do this.
That just happened. Brought to you by Florida Home AC, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Okay, the preseason coaches poll dropped about an hour and a half ago. And for all you Florida Gator fans who were screaming about this difficult schedule,
it is.
Well, get a load of it, okay? The teams Florida plays in the coaches poll: number 1, Georgia; number 4, Texas; number 6, Ole Miss; number 10, Florida State; number 12, LSU; number 15, Tennessee; number 19, Miami; and number 20, Texas A&M. That's 8 of the top 20. 8 of the top 20, the preseason top 20, the Florida Gators will handle. And the Gators, oh, by the way, got 11 votes, and they also receiving votes.
What was the 11 votes for? What were they voting on where they decided to give them 11 votes? Voting for a special teams head count every time, make sure there's 11?
They got the numbers now, Joe.
Yeah, they do.
They're using the numbers.
All right, so when you take a look, this is a, I guess, expectedly heavy SEC top 25, but also an expectedly heavy Big Ten when you think of where Ohio State and Oregon. And honestly, all right, so let's do the 10-10 take real quick. Let's pair all this up together as we take a look at this right now.
Now, Joe C's 10-10 take. Slow smoked and served up by Sonny's Barbecue. Local pit masters since 68.
All right, you know that Sonny's is ready for you, especially if you got the bad weather. You may be out of power. You want to go to Sonny's and enjoy a great meal, lunch, dinner, no matter what. They will always have everything ready for you, all the proteins and all those tremendous sides. So it's not often that you will have 2 of your top 4 teams in the preseason coaches poll from the Big Ten, and one of them not named Michigan or Ohio State. Would you agree with that? And
Correct.
It's not often that you would have 2 of the top 4 from the SEC and one of them not be named Alabama. But that is, in fact, what you've got. Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, then Texas. And Texas is getting all the love right now because of the quarterback and everything else that they've got coming back. Alabama is 5th. Ole Miss is 6th. So if you're looking at the SEC and you're talking about, wow, this is a heavy, heavy bunch at the top of the list, Georgia, Texas, Bama, Ole Miss, they are all among the top 10. At the end, you still have Michigan and Penn State filling out the first 10 from the Big Ten side. That's the 10-10 take.
There are 4 SEC teams and 4 Big Ten teams in the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Of the top 25, only 6 schools are not from the Big Ten in the SEC.
Uh-huh.
So, which is, fairly interesting when you get right down to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the world we're in right now. But honestly, you're talking about 2 conferences that have 34 teams and 34 of the, top probably 41 or 42 best teams in the country too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's difficult to not have a situation like that where you have all those teams in the top 25. But I just think it's interesting that, it's now been validated. So the concerns of the offseason with the Florida fans and the teeth gnashing and the complaining about the schedule and worrying about the schedule, well, it's all right in front of you now.
Well,
it's all right in front of you.
Right. If you get it done, obviously you will turn some heads. But if they don't get it done, they'll be turning to maybe a new coach. Who knows? Not quite sure exactly how that'll go. Real quick, Clemson is the second highest rated ACC team. Florida State, 1 ACC team in the top 10. Then you've got another couple of SECers in Mizzou, rated higher than LSU because of what they did last year and who they're bringing back. Then the Utes of Utah rated higher than Clemson, which I also find kind of interesting.
Also, Kentucky's also receiving votes. UCF's also receiving votes. South Carolina's also receiving votes. So, you got that going for you.
Yeah, except for Florida. Florida's not receiving votes. All right, let's vote for this guy right now.
Now, the quarterback whisperer, Denny Thompson.
Okay, bring it in.
Brought to you by Tyson Sound and Security, security and automation experts, and George Moore Chevrolet.
1, 2, 3.
Well, Florida is receiving votes. You're just receiving 11. That's all. No, I'm sure we can talk to Danny about this. He'll be fired up about this as well.
I usually welcome him in, but I've got mad quarterback love, even though he's a quarterback coach, quarterback whisperer. But he's rocking the Dodgers lid, so I have even more mad quarterback love.
We're supposed to be flying out in the morning.
Yeah,
to go to LA. Yeah, I don't know.
You're quickly becoming an LA guy, by the way.
He is. He admits it.
Yeah. No, listen. Huntington Beach this time of year. It's the U.S. Open for surf. This time of year. Yeah. So, no, I can't wait to get out there.
All right. Now, you were in Athens last week, so let's at least start there, and then we'll start getting through it. But I don't know if you perused the top 25, but it's littered with the SEC and the Big Ten. We shouldn't be shocked.
No. I mean, it is what it is at this point. I mean, the amount of resources y'all going into college football right now is mind-boggling. It really is. It's when you sit there. For us last week in Athens, I told Matt this last week, it was really a week of we got to get everything done before Carson gets to camp. So if you want to do business with Carson Beck, we're open and then we're closed.
Yep.
Right.
You actually have one of those door signs, don't you? Just open and close.
Yeah, and I'm not even talking about Carson specifically. I'm talking about all of the guys and all of the programs and all of the donors, and the list goes on and on. The amount of money going into college football. There was an investment firm that invested $1 billion into the Big Ten a couple months ago.
It's insane.
Let's just think about that for a second. $1 billion into a conference. I think it was the Big Ten. It's a cash cow right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the Big Ten, SEC, they're playing a different game right now.
It's not only just the teams. This is where, and this is how we kind of segue you into this conversation. This is where all the elite quarterbacks want to play. They want to play in these two conferences, right? And I think that's also a problem right now with Florida State and with Miami and with Clemson is the elite recruits now want to go to these conferences because these conferences play in all the big games. They play in primetime, and these are games that everybody wants to see, right?
I don't think it's affected FSU yet. I really don't. They are doing a phenomenal job recruiting. I really only know about the quarterback position. I don't really pay attention to anything outside of that. And
they just signed Luke Kromenhoek, who's
they signed Luke. Tramel Jones
40, 50 guy, right?
Committed to them, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, yeah, easy. I mean, he's top 5 quarterback, right? Tramel's the same way. Tramel's an Elite 11 finalist guy. They've got a commit, I can't remember his name now, for the next year, who's like a 4 or 5-star guy.
Right.
They're really good at the quarterback position, evaluating, recruiting, developing. But to your point, I think at some point, I think the fear of Florida State fans, I think the average fan even sees this, at some point, like, wait, are we going to get left behind in this thing?
Mm-hmm.
It's not a now problem at all. You're fine right now. And you're taking the steps as a university, too, with the reconstruction of the stadium, remodeling and the football facility and the resources that they put into it. But at what point does it become that, man, we just can't keep up with Florida? Because we're not getting that check that Florida's getting. I don't know when that comes, but you better be out ahead of it.
Yeah. I did get a kick when we had Cam Ward sound last week that says, NIL money, yeah, it's okay. It ain't great. And he's making it sound like it's not NFL type of money. Well, this is something pretty don't poo-poo this. You know what I mean? This is an opportunity for guys to get money in their pockets. Embrace it instead of pan it.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I didn't hear that, so I don't know the context of which he was talking about. But I will tell you this: it does add a bunch of responsibilities to your plate.
Well,
the game has definitely changed. It used to be, all right, let's go to college. We're going to focus in on putting on weight, learning how to play, developing. There's a business around these guys now, and I'm guilty of this. I mean,
you're knee deep in it.
Yeah, I mean, it is. Carson Beck is a business right now. Cam Ward is a business right now.
But it's so funny. Like before, they wore something. Okay, the jersey meant you. Hey, you're representing us. Now you are representation for other people.
That's right.
Way beyond.
That's right, and you got to be careful who you represent. You got to be careful. I mean, there's decisions that these guys have to make on a day-to-day right now that they didn't have to make. They didn't used to have to make, and I don't know that really had to have been made really in the history of sports because you're talking about young men being asked to do things by companies, and they've got to decide, do I want to do this? Do I want to be affiliated with this company? And what does that mean?
Right.
What does that look like to my image, and so on and so forth?
Mm-hmm.
And that's conversations that's never had to happen.
All right, so I want to make something real quick first. There are guys making money right now in college football that will make more money than they could ever make in the NFL.
No doubt.
No, I'm dead serious because they won't even make a team.
Yeah, exactly.
There are guys that are getting paid right now that will not make a team in the NFL.
Well, let's say they make the team. I was talking about this with the marketing agent the other day. If you're the starter, take this is not Carson, but take just whoever. You're the starter at a major program. You're marketable.
Yeah.
If you're the backup in the NFL,
you're not marketable.
Well, I'll give you
$500,000.
I'll give you an even better example, okay?
Or more than
you're
that.
You're gonna love this. Close to home for you. If Brock Purdy were the quarterback at Iowa State right now, he'd probably be making $2 million a year. He's not making close to that right now as the last guy picked in the draft.
Well, contractually, no.
Yeah, contractually.
He's doing fine
yes.
now.
No, I'm not talking about outside. I'm talking about contractually.
Yeah, but I'm talking about outside. See, I'm talking about outside because you go from, all these SEC, Big Ten, and ACC schools are big deals.
Yeah.
So if you're the starting quarterback, you have a big outreach. If you're the backup quarterback,
outside of your contracts.
Yeah. If you're the backup quarterback in Jacksonville, or Carolina, or Miami, or any school, any NFL team, you're not that marketable, right? So it's just it is a very weird dynamic of to your point, like you're going to make more money doing this than you're probably going to make at the next level off the field. Now on the field, it's not even close. Like some of the numbers these people are throwing around, colleges ain't paying like that. The NFL as a whole, you're going to make way more money total in the NFL
if you make it and you're a good player. Yeah. So you are in the thick of this now with the quarterbacks,
right?
Of everything that's going on. You see these deals and everything, and I don't know how many times we've heard this from coaches, from administrators. It's not sustainable, but year after year after year, it's sustainable. Like, do you see any point where this thing suddenly where the bottom falls out?
Yes, absolutely.
And why?
Yeah,
it has to.
I don't know that in its current format that is sustainable even for another couple of years.
Until pay-for-play arrives.
Yeah, and
revenue
until
sharing,
revenue sharing, salary cap, whatever you want to call it. I think that is desperately needed. It puts a ton of pressure right now on your fundraising abilities, and like you think that those things are limitless, but they're not asking for less money for facilities and all that. This is in addition to,
right?
Like you can't pull out of that budget. And so I think that the worst job on the planet right now is if you head up one of these collectives, because you have to go and raise that money every single month to make, and I'm kind of air quoting, payroll.
Mm-hmm. That is so funny because honestly, that's what it is.
I don't know how what a stressful job.
Yeah.
What a stressful job, because everybody's willing to say they're going to do it.
Yeah.
A whole other thing when you got to write that check.
There is a lot of money out there, though, Brian.
There's a lot.
Okay,
there's a lot
of money. But real quick, the deliverables, and you're inside this circle. Okay, Matt writes about it a bunch and hears about it a bunch, and we on the outside, I joke, I give my 990 or whatever to Gator, but they have to meet the nut, the number, and you don't see players pitching products as often as you might expect you would see players pitching products to pay for said
guys.
dollars.
We're getting into like a really deep conversation that we could spend 2 hours on.
Yeah.
I mean, really, the mechanics of what we're talking about are so unique and so interesting that it's almost like you've got the collective, which is supposed to be a marketing arm.
Yeah, but it's not.
Right? It's turned into a little bit of a fundraising arm, and then outside of that, you've got all these marketing agents, and you've got card deals, and you've got all these other things that chip in beyond that in a lot of cases the collective really maybe sees, maybe don't see. Like there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on right now.
All right, so we will stay in the quarterback world. We'll hit the NFL. We'll hit some of the college players. It was an interesting stat that was thrown out to us the other day by Gary Danielson. 14 of 18 Big Ten quarterbacks did not start there at the place they're at right now. So we'll hit some of those along with some of the other storylines that are out there. It is the Quarterback Whispers time on XL Primetime, so you guys can hang out with us, 641-1010. You can throw a question his way or jump in the YouTube chat.
You're riding in the First Coast Honda Dealer Studios. XL Primetime on 1010XL. Now, a 1010XL Summer Olympic Update brought to you by
USAPark.net Airport Parking.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games. Simone Biles becomes the first U.S. gymnast with 6 gold medals. She wins the individual all-around for the second time after pulling out of the final in Tokyo.
3 years ago, I never thought I'd step foot on a gymnastics floor again just because of everything that had happened. But at the end of the day, it is crazy that I am in the conversation of greatest of all athletes because I just still think I'm Simone Biles from Spring, Texas that loves to flip.
At 27, Biles is the oldest woman to win the all-around since 1952. Suni Lee takes the bronze. In the pool, Katie Ledecky gets the silver as part of the 200-meter freestyle relay, her 13th Olympic medal, a record for American women. And 57 straight Olympic wins for the U.S. women's basketball team to lock up a spot in the quarterfinals. With this Summer Games update, I'm Brad Heller, Westwood One Sports.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk.
Life hack.
Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher end auto pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not a rate based on Terry who keeps and makes the car behind them. Oh no, they're about to. Save with DriveWise and the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, Preferred Builders, great people. That's number one. And then on to the project, because the project is important. It's your dream. It's whatever you invest in, and you want to make sure the job's done right. Now, that could be a brand new roof. It could be a remodel, addition, a brand new home. And take a look at the way real estate and interest rates are working. You can do a remodel or an addition and really add value to your home. So plan it properly. Log on. PreferredBuildersJacks.com or PreferredRoofingJacks.com and think local.
This is Josh Woolsey with Woolsey Morecambe. Woolsey Morecambe is your MVP in the legal game. Our team of skilled attorneys tackle personal injury cases with compassion and expertise. With fumbles like a car or truck accident, we're here to seek the compensation you deserve. Right here in Jacksonville, we've successfully won over $100 million and earned a championship-worthy record. When it's game time, you want a team that plays to win. Contact Woolsey Morecambe at 1-800-WOOLSEY. Offices, Jacksonville.
Hi, I'm Frank Frangie, and I've depended on South State for my banking needs as long as they've been serving Duval. Whether you're saving for retirement, purchasing a home, starting a business, your goals are their commitment. With forward-thinking, personalized banking solutions and best-in-class service, South State is ready to help you navigate your financial journey. Connect at southstatebank.com or drop by any of the 5 local South State offices. South State Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gates store anywhere around Duval and make yours a dandy, and do it today.
Here's Ben and John Lupo, owners of Beards Diamonds.
It's funny, my dad has sold people engagement rings, and now I'm selling their kids engagement rings and anniversary gifts and birthday gifts.
We're blessed with the relationships we've built over the years.
Check out our full inventory at beardsdiamonds.com.
Beards Diamonds in the St. John's Town Center.
How wide is the moon? The answer coming right up.
It's always a good idea to compare homeowners' insurance rates instead of renewing year in and year out. Log on to southernoak.com and get an instant quote in minutes.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
The moon is roughly 2,100 miles wide. about a 3-day drive.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Wake up and smell the golf balls.
Brunch with the Tour.
Tour news, tips, and inside info.
Uphill putt for birdie.
Brought to you by
Clearwater Irrigation. Brunch provided by Chick-fil-A. Tuesday morning at 8:30 on 1010XL.
Have you tried golfing at the improved Cimarron Golf Club? If you haven't, tell you what, you're missing out on the best deal in Jacksonville. Now, many of you have received a postcard in the mail, and of course, if you bring that with you, $45 plus tax to play. That includes a cart, lunch, and a beer at the brand new Stone Barrel Tap House. Now, go to the website, that is CimarronGolfClub.com, and sign up for the Wild One Loyalty Program. That's the Wild One Loyalty Program, and get all of these specials emailed to you from Cimarron.
It all comes down to Daytona and the Coke Zero Sugar 400 race weekend, August 23rd and 24th. Answer this question for a chance to win a family 4-pack of tickets to the Coke Zero Sugar 400 August 24th. Who has the most victories in the Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010. Who has the most victories in the Coke Zero Sugar 400? Text the driver's last name only to 641-1010 for your chance to win.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, an asphalt marketer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Sheldon Fish. Today's category, air conditioner repair experts in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I bet it's going to be Bueller.
Your question. Unlike Jacksonville, the Sahara Desert has a complete lack of air conditioner repair experts. What kind of camels do they ride?
That's not really a question about air conditioner repair.
5 seconds.
But that's a camel question.
Pick a camel, Sheldon.
Arabian dromedary.
That's right, Sheldon. Like the majestic Arabian dromedary, the skilled technicians at Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair any make and model of air conditioner the same day you call, making sure you are cool.
They don't spit, do they?
No, but Steve, the new guy, has a bit of a hump.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
At Honda, we appreciate all the comparisons to other vehicles. And no matter how many times they compare their vehicles to a Honda, only a Honda is a Honda. Remember, value, quality, safety, there is no substitute. Visit your local Honda dealer now and experience the difference.
When all you have is a hammer, everything is a nail. I'm Dr. George Bari, and like me, I know you have been bombarded with PRP and stem cell treatments from companies that promise the world and charge prices to match. Or the surgeon that convinced you the only way to treat your injuries through surgery. At Bari Orthopedics, we offer the best PRP treatment on the market with prices that won't cost you an arm and a leg. We also have the expertise to treat your injury surgically if that is what it entails. We can discuss all surgical and non-surgical options with you and make sure you get the best treatment available. Come see me, Dr. George Bari at Bari Orthopedics.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. It's Mocama Monday on XL Primetime. Head to the tap room in Fernandina Beach every day that ends with Y and enjoy some Mocama.
We got our buddy Denny Thompson hanging out with us for another seg. Before we turn him loose, the quarterback whisperer will be heading. Are you heading to Huntington Beach? Or you?
Man, we're looking at this weather right now. We're supposed to fly out in the morning. Hope so.
Well, Matt was looking at. Matt is one of those. He's not a storm chaser, but he will stare at a radar.
I have to be honest. I am a meteorologist at heart. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it.
And right now,
that's interesting.
You know, the Biedenbosches of the world are trying to figure this whole thing out. Okay,
the thing's moving at 7 miles an hour right now.
I know. Trust me, I've been staring at this thing all day, just going, just let us get out in the morning.
Yeah,
just let us get out in the morning. That's all we need.
And it's funny because Leon jetted off to the Virgin Islands, and so he didn't know where the storm was going to be. This was Friday afternoon. He's thinking, where is it going? Anyway, it comes in on the opposite side of the state, so he's okay. But all right, so let's get back to the quarterback talk. We got to work in a little Trevor talk before we turn you loose. But I mentioned the stat that Gary Danielson threw at us, which is kind of crazy. You are very familiar with the ebb and flow of the transfer world. It's not a shock when you hear someone's moving on or has gained interest, yada, yada, yada. But it still is a little bit of a surprise when you hear 14 of 18 quarterbacks in the Big Ten did not start at that school originally.
I think it's going to correct itself. I don't think that's going to be the situation much longer. I actually, in some ways, it's been very beneficial to the people. Well, I mean, like Carson and down, so that whole class and younger. I'll put it that way because it actually is giving them time to truly develop.
Mm-hmm.
If let's take Luke Kromenhoek, we talk about a lot at Florida State to keep Florida State going on. If the transfer portal wasn't there right now, I mean, Luke would be in a competition to start. Now, that sounds great, right? But since they were able to go out and get DJ, now we're in a little bit better position of let's keep the main thing, which is development. Luke is a highly talented kid who doesn't need to worry about anybody else like Carson was. If he just worries about himself, we already know where he's going to get to. We've seen this movie before, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so he doesn't have to be thrust out onto the field in any situation unless things go, poorly, or if he's just outplaying everybody. And there's a big benefit to that. And you have colleges all over the country that the last year or two, you start talking to them now, and it's like, man, we really like this young kid that we recruited here 2 years ago. He's really developed. Well, yeah, he's developed. He's 20, right? He stayed there. And I think there's going to be more Carson Beck examples of guys who stayed there because people are realizing that this 2 years that I've got to sit is very, very valuable.
Mm-hmm.
And I plan on playing this game for 15 years, right? And I'm learning a lot, and my confidence isn't taking a hit. So I don't think that this is going to be the case much longer because the more and more colleges you talk to now, they all say that same thing of, we recruited this kid in the 22 class.
Right.
That, man, he looks good right now. So we're probably not a player in next year's market. When you start to hear that a lot, that's going to start to tighten up that market a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think the revenue sharing is going to help that too because these guys are going to be locked in with contracts, which is going to help.
Doesn't it go to you can have a demands letter now, right?
Yeah,
If it goes the way.
When they revenue share, they're not just going to say, okay, we're going to give you, we're going to give you 20% of what we make and, do whatever you want. No, they're going to go, you're going to get X amount of revenue. And for that, you have to give us X.
Right.
And that's going to be part of it will be player movement. Part of it will be contracts because then it's not just going to be free. We're just going to give you this money. So that's going to help. But if you think about this now, you said 14 of 18, right, in the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's 8 of 16 in the SEC. So you've got 22 of the 34 of the main two big conferences. 22 of those quarterbacks didn't originally start at those schools. That's a large number.
Yeah. Again, I think there's a correction. I think it's going closer to. Well, you remember back in the days, it used to be there was an order.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, we recruited this kid, but this other kid still got 2 years, and so he's gonna play out those 2 years, and then this kid's gonna flow in, and then the ones that were really good at developing never had a quarterback issue, right? I think
the Bobby Bowden era.
Perfect example. I think we're getting closer to that because they're able to. I don't personally, the revenue share to me, I don't think it's going to work the way people think it's going to work because the NFL is going to work because they draft you.
Mm-hmm.
In college, the player gets to pick where they go, right? And so there's always going to be additional enticement for the better players to try to get them to come to your school. Not everybody's going to play.
Yeah.
Right. The NIL is not going away just because there's revenue sharing.
No, absolutely
not. But the other half of this, and again, we don't need to go, like we said, we get too far down this road. We can't help it.
Yeah.
But this will help that collective deliver on their promise, the dollars that are being given to them.
It's taken away from them.
Yeah.
They're not even a thing with it. Like, they're a thing, but that's not their job. Now it's going to come directly from the schools.
Yeah. And so now they can pitch product and make the sponsor
Absolutely.
happy. That will definitely happen. All right, so when we get to, I think we were talking about some of those awards odds that are out there as far as the Davey O'Brien, all this kind of stuff. So what are you hearing from your guys that you sent off? Like you said, patted them on the head, patted them on the butt, sent them on their way. What are you hearing from some of those guys that are out there in camp now?
There's a level of excitement this year across the board with all of our guys that everybody gets excited this time of year. But there's such a level of an excitement that this playoff has created.
I believe it.
That I've never seen anything like this. Just everybody's excited. They're ready to go. They love the schedules that everybody's playing. And there's a chance, man. Like you're not looking at this going, golly, we got to go undefeated and we got to pull an upset off against Georgia. And No, man, there's a chance. You can get to the tournament, and that, as much as we have been downplaying Florida, the reality of this thing is if they think they're going to be good down there, and that's legitimate.
When they start 4-0, they ain't going to be downplayed.
Right. And all of a sudden, you look up in you look up in November, and all of a sudden, in the past, it was like there's no room for error. If you lose 2, you're out. Yeah. With Florida's schedule, you're playing late, you're playing mid-November, and you've lost 2. Man, you were very much in this thing.
Oh, yeah.
So I think there's just a level of excitement to all of these guys that I don't think we've seen as much in the past.
No, it's only going to be 12 for 2 years. Only going to be 12. I'm telling you, 2026 it'll be 16, and then it's really going to be like wide open. Then everybody's in it, and then it's look. It's the way it should be. If you have this type of money changing hands right now in the sport, if you're giving these guys some of the media rights revenue, you have to open up the playoff. You have to give the schools an opportunity to earn some of that money back by having home playoff games.
Yeah, that's true.
Or expanding the playoff, what the media people will pay for the playoff. So that expands as well when you go to 16. So yeah, it's a brand new world, man. And I know for years and decades and centuries for that matter, century and a half, they did everything they could to stay away from the NFL. And now they're running toward it like it's the last bucket of water in the Sahara, man.
Here's the funny thing is I feel like I'm pretty dialed into all this. I do this on a day-to-day. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
None of us do.
Everything is changing.
None of us do. It changes every single day. There's a whole book of rules being rewritten right now that nobody knows what that's going to look like, what that's going to play out to.
There's quarterback and coach communication in college football this year. The helmet communication.
It's amazing. The whole world has changed. I'm just trying to do the best I can for our guys, but the reality of this thing is I don't know how it's going to end up.
You know what they're going to have? Guardrails for guardrails, because they're going to figure out what the first, and they're going to like, well, this ain't going to work. It's nuts. It really is. All right, real quick, 46 first place votes for Georgia. We know that Kirby has embraced this, welcomed it, can handle it. I'm sure Carson, they will all tell you the same thing. Anyway, that's a little bit of a bigger number than maybe I expect.
Really?
Just a little bit of a bigger number.
Really? I thought it was too small.
Really,
actually.
because all right, you got 7 for Ohio State. I just thought there would be a little bit more for Ohio State for whatever reason. I know Georgia's got a lot coming back, but most people feel like Ohio State is as loaded a roster.
Not a quarterback.
Yeah, here's my thought on
it.
Take the quarterback away for a second. Like I think we've almost Alabama Georgia a little bit, and we expect certain things. Right? That defense is good. Defense is good. They addressed some issues this offseason in the portal. You look at their starting offensive line, the number of starts that those guys have.
A ton.
I mean,
by the way, real quick, Tate Ratledge. He's a guard.
Yeah.
Okay. For next draft,
Tate's my guy. Man. Tate's
already drafted another guard.
I love Tate.
Ratledge, guard.
So Tate and Carson were roommates.
Jags.
Yeah.
They were roommates for 3 years. Yeah. Dog.
Yeah.
But they got 5 of those. They've got 5 of those guys that have been there forever. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying they're unbeatable because injuries happen and things happen. Suspensions like they're dealing with now happen, but man, they're good.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that shocked me a little bit is that this looks so much like either a 2-team national championship setup or a 4-team playoff when they just give all the votes to one. Like, in other words, I expected with a 12-team playoff that, hey, think a little bit. Think who else might be able to pop up at the end. Like, Georgia cannot win the SEC and still win a natty.
Oh, sure. I mean, I think they were the best team in the country last year.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm excited
about? They played
about?
a poor game in the SEC championship game, which is what I've been trying to tell everybody about the playoff now. You can have a bad game. So you don't just automatically think it's going to be Georgia and Ohio State. There can be a bad game, and all of a sudden they lose.
Yeah. You know what I'm excited about more than anything is these home games the first round.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
And the number 1, the 1 through 4 seeds are going to be looking around going, wait a dang, man.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And that's why I'm thinking of Matt's 16, because you could have 8, or we'll have to talk about that.
Electric. It's going to be electric.
I mean, could you imagine a home playoff game in the swamp?
No. And there's nothing that
I can't imagine this year, but I mean in the future.
There's nothing that plays better on TV than those night games in college football with a fan base going crazy, and you're going to have those stacked up
LSU,
in that first round.
A home playoff game at LSU. Oh, my God.
On that note, enjoy your trip out to L.A. Go
All right,
Dodgers.
boys.
All right, Denny, we appreciate
Denny,
it.
see you, brother.
Definitely check him out at Denny_Thompson. 6 points, and, of course, all the quarterbacking you can imagine. We keep it rolling until 4 o'clock this afternoon. It is XL Primetime. Joe C., Matt Hayes, and RJ.
The First Coast Honda Dealer Studios on 1010XL.
Jags fans, a new Everbank Performance account could be your ticket to London this October. Through the Everbank London Getaway, one lucky winner and a guest will receive round-trip airfare, hotel accommodations, and a pair of tickets to see the Jags play in London. To learn more and for official rules, visit everbank.com/London. No person necessary to enter or win. Open to legal residents of 50 United States and D.C. 18 or older. Entry period for the Everbank London Getaway Suites is from 8/5/24 to 9/5/24. To enter and for official rules, alternate method of entry, prize description, odds of winning, and other details, visit everbank.com/London. Sponsor and administrator, Everbank N.A.
Get this thing unwrapped here. Duval!
Praz, what in the world are you doing working on your Duval?
That's right, Dan. I really identify with Duval.
You live in St. John's County, knucklehead.
I mean the Duval sub, the Dailies Dash Duval. Turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheeses. Lettuce, tomato, crispy and fresh, like me. I'm sure there's a Dailies Dash sub that sums you up.
The boss.
Because, of course,
oven roasted beef, Munster cheese, roasted mushrooms, caramelized onions. It's the boss of all subs. Only available for me.
That's just not true.
What do you mean? I walked in the other day, screamed, "You know it!" and said, "A boss for a boss."
Well, no matter who you are, there is a Dailies Dash sandwich or sub for you.
Go find yours. They may even make you a boss.
I'm sure they will, because it is Dailies Dash.
Where more is better.
And you got that right.
Josepha Roland Reich Plumbing, Bold City's best. That's right. They can stand behind that. Plumbing service. They offer it, and they will cover all of Duval and beyond. And they definitely know what they're doing. We're talking about over a quarter century of experience, and they can handle an estimate, even over the phone. They just want to give you the information. Full-service plumbing, drain cleaning, small leaks, major issues, whole house remodels. It doesn't matter. Make sure you check out Roland Reich Plumbing. Just log on plumbingjacksonville.com, where quality and experience count. Remember, when you have a leak and can't wait a week, call Roland Reich.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
Meet Abiana, talking about her experience with BioTarget regenerative therapy at injury care centers.
I started doing the BioTarget therapy for plantar fasciitis, and I noticed an improvement immediately. It was almost impossible for me to put my feet down to take a proper step. After the first treatment, I was able to actually walk and do so without limping. I kind of felt like because they were offering a money-back guarantee, it made me feel like they're sure the treatment would definitely work. I would definitely recommend this treatment to anybody that I know because it works.
Stop masking your pain with harmful medications. There's a better solution. BioTarget regenerative therapy has helped countless others, and it can help you too. Call 904-92-REGEN or visit GoBioTarget.com today.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On August 5th, 1986, Giants left-handed pitcher Steve Carlton becomes the second pitcher to reach 4,000 strikeout milestone, striking out Eric Davis.
This is Greg Huntington, a.k.a. The Mangler. I'm on the winning team at Waste Management. WM is the largest sustainability company in North America. If your business needs sustainable environmental services for waste removal and recycling collection, then you can count on the industry leader of WM to deliver results. Your services will be completed in a timely, safe, and eco-friendly manner. Go to WM.com, and get signed up today. If anyone can talk trash, it's the Mangler. Go Team WM, and as always, Duval!
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. You know, pool design has come a long way, and if your pool is outdated, Stanley Pools specializes in bringing older pools up to date for the whole family to enjoy. That's why I did it a few years ago, and man, I love the way my pool looks now after we added travertine pavers and so much else. Stanley Pools has been serving our community since 1988, so call them today at 269-7277 or find them online at stanleypoolsfl.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Football season finally upon us, and with that comes cooler weather. If you've been wanting to upgrade your outdoor living space, you should call the experts at Lifetime Enclosures now. From glass lanais to screened-in enclosures, Lifetime Enclosures and Flooring is the best in the business, so give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 test under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
This is Dr. Steve Crenshaw, Assistant Team Physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Trayvon Walker spoke at camp Friday and gave some insight on the progression and improvements young defensive ends Mason Smith and DJ Coleman have made so far.
Man, Mason, he's one of those guys. He's getting it. Everything's starting to click for him. Obviously, coming through OTAs, he was a little bit of learning process. He's still learning the scheme, but he's definitely coming into that. And DJ, going into his year 2, he's been one of those guys that's clicking a lot faster for him as well now, too. He's a very aggressive player. He likes putting his hands on people, so I feel like this defensive scheme that we're in now helped free him up a little bit as well.
Smith, a rookie out of LSU, and Coleman, going into his 2nd year as a pro, will be key depth pieces at the defensive end position. As the younger guys mold into NFL shape, they will become valuable pieces in Ryan Nielsen's defense. I'm Max Fink with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, my takeaway is the college football poll came out today. Reaffirmed all the Gators' fears, but look, at the end of the day, you know what it really reaffirms? Ball is back. We are literally now, we're getting 2 weeks away. 14, we're just about a little over 2 weeks away from playing ball, from Florida State playing Georgia Tech in week 0 in Ireland. That should make everybody on top of the world.
All right, so here's my takeaway. This goes back to last year, all right? And I love when all these guys put this together so we can digest it. But the coaches poll preseason came out. If this was 2023,
right,
there would be 7 SEC schools among the top 25, ACC, counting Notre Dame, 5. The Big 12 would have 5.
Well, you're not counting Notre Dame.
I'm just again, this is what they put in there, okay? Because, listen, ACC will count Notre Dame whenever they can because they play 5 games inside the ACC, so they're counting them. Anyway, SEC would have 7, ACC would have 5, Big 12 would have 5. Big 10 would only have 4, which is kind of interesting because the Pac-12 would have 4. Now you fast forward to this season, and you've got 9 in the SEC, 6 in the Big 10, counting Notre Dame again. The ACC still has 5. Big 12 has 5. Interesting stuff when you think about it. The conglomeration of Pac-12 and Big 12 is really is going to make for a great conference because
it's going to be fun games.
Yeah,
I mean they may not. They may only get like one team in the playoff. I don't know, maybe 2. Who knows? They may have an 8-4 champion. Who knows?
Yeah, and just think about this. Think about this though. The Big 10 basically got half of the haul of this year's. Like right now, they only have 6 among the preseason.
Right.
They got 4 schools from the Pac-12 to add to their pile.
Right.
And the SEC was only changed by 2. Had 7 last year. If this was last year, they would have had 7, and now they've got 9.
Well, let's put it this way: the final selection committee poll, okay, which got you your 4 teams.
Yeah.
It essentially was 11 SEC and Big 10 teams last year.
Mm-hmm.
If you're using the SEC and Big 10 framework right now, it would 11 of the 12 would have been an SEC or Big 10 team.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that.
Oh yeah, and so
the only one that wouldn't was, of course, Florida State.
Yeah, the possibilities are marvelous. Like we said, I know things are going to be at risk, and we're going to chronicle them the entire way. Like you may not see Ohio State, Michigan, or for that matter, Florida State, or some of the other great ones, the Iron Bowl, the same way ever again. But it doesn't mean that rivalry still isn't rich and strong. And
it doesn't. But I think what people are going to complain about is there's a possibility of seeing that game three times.
Ohio State and Michigan can see each other three times. And here's I guess one of the other things that
hang on real quick. Let me explain that. Regular season.
Yeah.
Big Ten championship game. Playoff.
Yeah, and let's just remind everybody, as you go into this season, this is the first year since you've known division play, and the SEC was the first to create division play, and then you had the others pick it up, including the leaders and the legends up in the Big Ten. But this is the first year that's all scrapped. And so now it's the two best records that will play, which plays to Matt's point. Before, Ohio State and Michigan weren't necessarily going to see each other in the championship game. They couldn't.
Same division.
They were in the same division. And so now you can have Alabama and Texas, let's say, face each other, and before they would not have because they both would have been in the SEC.
Let me just throw out this nightmare scenario, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's just say Ohio State's 11-0.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan's 9-2, needs to win that game to get into the Big Ten championship game and a shot in the playoff, okay?
Sure, okay.
You know, Ryan Day needs that game badly, the Ohio State coach.
Yeah.
So Michigan wins that game. Then Michigan beats them in the Big Ten championship game because they'll play them in the Big Ten championship game in the rematch.
Right around the play.
Then they play in the playoff, and they beat them again. You think Ryan Day survives those 3 straight losses to Michigan in one season?
Negative Ghost Rider. Sharon Moore will have run him right out of there, even with Connor Stallions dressed up in a disguise, helping him get there. We kind of touched on that to begin our show. So as we get to the conclusion of our show, the news comes out, bring them up to date. Michigan is now, at least the reports are out, that Sharon Moore is facing discipline of some kind, that he deleted.
So let me just read it. Here's the easiest thing to do it, okay? Moore could face a show cause penalty, which is basically the NCAA saying if anybody wants to hire him, you got to show the NCAA why you want to hire him, and it will include he will not be able to go on the road for recruiting. There'll be all kind of stuff.
And lots of fines.
It's the worst thing a coach could have is a show cause penalty, right? Mm-hmm. And a possible suspension for allegedly deleting a thread of 52 text messages with former Michigan staffer Connor Stallions, of course, the guy that did the sign stealing, okay? In October of 20,
Bobby Valentine of college football.
In October of 23, you ready for this?
Mm-hmm. On
the same day, media reports revealed Stallions was leading an effort to capture the play calling signals of future opponents.
And
on the same day.
Yeah.
Now, the NCAA investigation also states that the texts were later recovered via device imaging, and that Moore, quote, subsequently produced them to enforcement staff.
I love the device imaging. Because remember now, there was one theory that was out there, and I loved it, is that you could go on QVC or Amazon or somewhere, and you could find the same glasses that Connor Stallions was wearing that would videotape whatever he's looking at. And so you had a device that you could control, and you could hit record with the Ray-Ban looking knockoff.
I mean, imagine getting caught deleting text messages. 52 of them.
From another
on
dude.
The day it comes out that Connor Stallions is the guy who's behind this entire scam to get after future opponents.
And by the way, Sharon Moore was the one that was applauded for being able to pull the team and program.
He coached those 3 critical games at the end of the season against Penn State, Ohio State, and Maryland.
Yeah.
He kept them on a roll, and on the roll to get to the Big Ten championship game and get to the playoff. You know, obviously Harbaugh took over in the Big Ten championship game, but you're talking about a guy that was suspended earlier in the season for a game for his role in this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And Michigan knows all this. They know that he deleted those 52 text messages, and they still hired him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's something else. And the other part of this is that Jimmy Harbaugh is just sitting back there going, hey, can we get some line help for Justin Herbert here? Can we get a good medical doctor that's not going to puncture our quarterback's lung to work on his feet? That's all he's got to worry about. He doesn't have to worry about any of this. None of this is his problem anymore.
Well, not only that, also, don't automatically think, the universities are this, they're pure as the driven snow, and it's the players are all at fault. You got to be kidding me.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about a university that knows This guy blatantly broke the rules to cover up rule breaking that would have derailed the program in their run at a national championship, and then hired him.
I do love to
replace the other guy who broke the rules.
Oh yeah, it stinks. Yet somehow, some way, I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. Even though I think it should be a big deal, but I don't think it is. Speaking of a big deal, no, it's not Hacker. It's Hayes.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Injury Care Centers. Discover BioTarget Regenerative Therapy, a safer drug-free solution for lasting pain relief. Visit GoBioTarget.com.
So in the last several weeks, months, however long it's been, we weren't even allowed to talk to this man.
I missed you guys.
When he walked in.
I tell you what, I used to always enjoy our little chit-chat.
Yeah, the embedded and shredded. I mean, I didn't even get to call you that.
Yeah, I know.
Let me ask you something. If your beautiful wife, Jean, found that you deleted 52 texts on the day that someone told her you were, speaking with another woman.
Yeah. That'd be
bad.
bad.
Would she say, what the hell, let's get married?
Yeah, that would be that. She would not say that. I don't believe. I think that would be trouble in paradise.
Hey, what the hell? Let's go up to Fenway and see.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Where's Dave Grohl playing next?
Oh my gosh, it's unreal. Michigan, and the best part is Michigan is just hoity-toity Michigan. They've now pandered and protected one coach, and then hired another one who's also a cheater.
And you know what they did? They said, we're going to do whatever it takes.
Baby.
We're going to do whatever it
right.
takes.
They got a title. That's all that matters.
They went the Buckeye route is basically what they did.
Yeah.
All right, so practice today real quick.
Yeah.
Gabe, your view of a 3-second dust-up.
I think Christian Kirk earned the C on his chest this year by what we saw today.
Tell everybody what happened.
That's what a captain does. Yeah. Buster Brown took an unnecessary shot at Gabe Davis, a good step and a half.
Just laid him out.
Before he had plenty of time. This was not bang-bang. He had about a step and a half distance between him and Gabe Davis, who was basically defenseless on a short pass.
Yeah.
Lights him up. And Christian Kirk, I mean, there was obviously a mob of offensive players on the sideline. Christian Kirk just flies out of the crowd.
Lays him.
And drills Brown in the back, and melee ensues, but that's what you want to see. If you're going to be a captain, that's how you have to act.
Yeah, Gabe.
And I think Christian Kirk deserves to be a captain on this team.
And
Not solely because of this, but I think it just further reinforces what he means to the offense, what he means to the team, and he deserves to be a captain if he wants to be one.
Right, exactly. But I know you laughed when Gabe said, were you surprised that Kirk? He goes, he should have.
He better have,
He
yeah.
better have.
Well, then you got problems. Yeah. I mean, that was a good litmus test. What we saw today was a good litmus test from a football standpoint of where are these guys.
Yeah.
And the receivers are obviously in great shape.
And both sides standing up for their side.
Yeah.
What's coming up?
Yeah, we're going to talk obviously all about that. We've had a lot of practice to break down, obviously Saturday, Sunday, and Monday practice. So a lot of Jaguars. We'll also get into the coaches poll that you guys were talking about. College football, we'll do that as well. And I had the opportunity to catch up with Andre Cisco on Saturday after the stadium practice, so we'll play that, and Devin Lloyd yesterday. So interviews with Andre Cisco and Devin Lloyd coming up as well.
That sounds good, man. Cisco picked them all off today. Thank you, Hayes.
Thank you, guys.
The Embedded and Shredded with the Francis Show coming up next.
Not only that, he dropped Litmus on us, which every time I hear Litmus, I think of Midnight Run and the Litmus configuration.
It's awesome. All right, real quick. Bill Hickey, and I appreciate him sending this in. It has always been the torso in track. Sprinters are taught how to leading with their torso. Hey, all that matters is the USA took home gold. Congratulations to them. That is for sure. We are done. Thanks to Mocama Beer Company, mocama.com, and look for them in Fernandina on South 8th. And Wildlight is their second location. And you will enjoy some great Mocama beer. Joe C., Matty Hayes, we turn you loose, and the Francis Show is up next.
Everyone wants to doubt